Hi guys, it's Emily from Novel Novels and welcome to today's video. This is my June wrap up part 2. Now, as you all know, this is the first video that I've recorded since the unfortunate news of Alice from Alice and the Giant's Bookshelf has passed away. I have known for longer, and in previous videos you would have seen I knew, but I wasn't sharing it because obviously it was up down to her husband. Her husband shared it and we had to wait. But June has been a really sad month. It's just been one of the hardest months ever, and for that reason I think it has affected my reading. It's meant I've read more, it's meant I bought more, as you would have seen from the book haul on Monday, and it's affected my reading. I think for me, like, obviously I'll go through the stats soon, but you'll see that I've gone for a lot of comfort reads, and yet at the same breath I've not been able to focus as much. So as to whether the fact that I couldn't focus because of the fact that I've been an emotional road, I've been really quite sad obviously this month. I have also had the health issues. I had a blood test on Friday and my arm's quite bruised. But for me, losing Alice this month has meant that June has been a really hard month, and I'm hoping going forward we can start looking forward again, but it's not going to be an easy recovery. I'm hoping that the books I picked for July are going to be okay. July is going to be a month where obviously I've got my summer holiday and we've got various things happening, and the sun is out, which is amazing, and that definitely does make me smile. But yeah, that has affected it. By now you should have seen a video that I'm filming for Alice, and I'll try and remember to link that down below. But what a month. So bear with me on the stats. I don't know how much this has affected the way I've rated the books because I've not been able to focus as much. I genuinely don't know. Grief is something that, apart from losing my father and obviously my grandparents, I never expected to lose a friend, and I certainly never expected to lose one of my best friends so young. So yeah, as to whether this has affected it, I don't know. Anyway, enough tearful stuff, let's talk about the stats. So I read a total of 34 books this month. Last month I read 36, so yes, I've still read a lot because I've just hidden in my books. I read 31 of those off my unread TBR, and going forward I will be reading like 3 books off my 3 books are always going to be library books every month. Next month I've got the joy that I've got a couple of rereads, so God knows how it's going to affect my stats next month. I gained 33 books, as you would have seen. A lot of those did have 6 gifted. I unhauled 3 off my unread TBR. The others I think were pretty much all of them, and there was one that just wasn't for me. So my June unread TBR was 307 books, and I only got it down to 306 books, so it only went down by 1. I am near that digit of the 300, which was my goal before the end of the year, that I wanted to get my unread TBR down to 300. So I've got another 6 months to creep it down even more, so even if I just get rid of 1 a month, I'm getting there, so that's positive. That's my goal. I read 1 non-fiction book this month. I will be reading probably more next month. I read 1 mystery I do like. I read 2 classics. That include, for me the classics do include the Agatha Christie. I read 6 fantasy, and that has been a real shocker. I will sneakily tell you, the fantasies have been some of my favourite books of the month. I read 11 historical fiction. I read 13 contemporary. Again, contemporaries do standardly tend to go at 4 stars, so that's why, as you would have seen, I've got a lot of 4 stars. I've only read 2. I've read 2 3-star books, which is really good. I've not read any bad books. I've read 1 3.5-star book. Again, that's really good. But I've read 15 4 stars, 9 4.5 stars, and only 7 5 stars. So a lot less 5 stars than normal. Normally for my 5-star books are quite a considerably bigger than that. Normally, let's have a look. I always do this. I always say to you, I'm gonna tell you the stats. And so last month I read 10 5 stars. So that is a bit, even though it's only 3, it's dropped down by quite a lot. But the 4.5 stars ratings are more. And I think let's see the month before that. Let's have a look, see if I can find that. No, it's the same as April. April only read 7 4 stars, so it's not too bad. But I do not want to keep you rambling, so let me show you the books. This might not be a long video because even though I've read a lot, I don't feel as chatty as normal. I'm sorry guys, I'm not as chatty as I normally am. So my 1 3-star was a very French wedding by Mieve Haran. It was a book I bought from the car boot sale, and it glad I only paid like 50p. It was a long book, and I think I was reading it when I heard about Alice, so probably not the best time. But it's set in France. It's got older protagonists and their friendships, but it's got some triggers for me, and just didn't really connect to it. I'm glad it was a second-hand book that I'm not necessarily going to reread. A bit of a battered copy. It was okay, and it's like 3 friends that have been friends since school, and they all meet up and they all sort the chateau out. But yeah, it wasn't as amazing. It was just kind of meh, like a contemporary, but bloody big considering what it's billing on. So, charity shop. So that was that's about only 3 stars. The rest of the books are really good. Some are amazing, some are just bad, but they are all really good books, just not really amazing ones. So the first of my 4 stars is a book by Helen Rolfe, The Farmouse of Second Chances. My first book by this author. It won't be my last. I've got another one in the window at Baz Books that I'm going to be nabbing and swapping them. Effectively, I'm swapping it. I bought this. I'm giving this to them, and then I'm going to get the new one of hers. But this was really good. Home is where the heart is. Joy has made a family for herself. She's turned her beautiful old farmhouse into a safe haven for anyone who's looking for new beginnings. And she's ready for a kind word. She's just like a lovely protagonist. And then you've got Libby, who's exchanged her high-flying job in New York for a break in the quiet Somerset countryside. She's soon drawn into Joy's world and into her family of waifs and strays, including Drew, who Joy once helped get back on her feet. Yes, there is a very typical romance, but there is an extra romance that I loved. But it's a bit of mystery, and obviously because you're waiting to find out what Joy did, because Joy did something bad in the past, and she's hiding from it. And I loved that bit of mystery. I loved the way it was dealt with. I loved the characters in this. It was just a full-on lovely contemporary. Not necessarily one I'm going to reread, that's why it's only 4 stars, but one that's made me want to pick up all the books by this author because her writing is lovely. Cosy contemporary, bit of mystery, different age protagonists, found family element, what's not to like. Then a book that I bought, I didn't buy this not very long ago. And this is, I should have read this for the Irish Readathon, so I'm now going to look for more Faith Hogan books for the Irish Readathon next year. And this is The Ladies' Midnight Swimming Club. This broke me into a million flipping pieces. Actually, I've realised I've got a pile when I've gone to show shop, and that's actually, I need to do a pile for Mum's. So, oops. Mum's going to like The Farmhouse for Second Chances. Mum's going to like this. Although there is a bit of a trigger in this, a bit that broke me into 1,000 pieces. You start off and it's about 3 very different women united by one thing, the chance to start again. So friendships, people of different ages, set in Ireland, midnight swimming club, the Irish Sea, friendship, family, community, really good. But there is a trigger in this to set me right off, and if you want to know it, ask me. But yeah, I did find this brilliant. Elizabeth was the village doctor, the dutiful wife, and now she's a widow who's been left in crippling debt. Ouch. Jo loves her life in Ballycove until she receives devastating news that changes everything. Her storyline is very ouch. And then you've got Lucy, who's burnt out and struggling to cope with a high-pressure hospital job, as well as being a single mother to her teenage son. And then Lucy is Jo's daughter. She goes back to her mum, and things change. Friendships happen. It's a really good feeling book. But yeah, I'm going to give that to Mum, but she might find it a little bit. Then you've got a mystery, and it was on my historical fiction pile, but it is actually more of a mystery. I can't remember if I rated this as a mystery or this as historical fiction. But it was when 4 sisters arrive at Apricot Manor to spend the summer. That was the historical fiction side. It was set in the past. And all is clearly not well. They find their aunt and uncle still reeling from the disappearance of their only daughter 5 years before. No one seems any closer to finding out the truth. Why did Audrey vanish, and who is keeping her fate secret? And then you've got that storyline, and then you've got a bit of blood and a bit of mystery, and you've got the current daytime storyline. Bit exciting, bit historical fiction. I love Eve Chase's books are the kind of books that I like because they're historical fiction mixed with mystery, mixed with a bit of a thrillery, kind of more mystery I would say, mixed with a bit of contemporary storyline as well. Really, really good. I might let Mum try it, see if she likes it. But I did enjoy it. It's a really good book. Then I've got my first of my library books, The Collector's Daughter by Jill Paul. This was okay. This was probably a lower end 4 stars for me. It was a historical fiction, partly set in in sort of like in the sort of times of the Tutankhamun, and it's sort of set partly in, it starts off, the past storyline starts off in 1922, when Lady Evelyn Herbert's dreams are realised when she's the first to step foot into the lost tomb of Tutankhamun from 33,000 years ago. Again, there were some triggers in this, and the current day storyline is that Eve, then she's obviously, it's like the cursed life, and Eve, and then you've got the current storyline of Eve in the daytime, in this sort of day and age, and there's this person who's trying to find out what happened in the mystery. In the current day storyline, there is some triggers. Again, no, current day is not actually current day, it's like 1970s, so it's more current than obviously the past in 1922. Young Women, Secrets, it's a good book, but again, there were some triggers for me, which I can't disclose at the moment, but yeah, there were some triggers. It's a good historical fiction book, but not necessarily amazing, so I'm going to put that there because it's the library. I need to remember to take that back tomorrow. Then to a book I got Cheap and Cheerful from the library, and I've got it recently, but it was just what I blooming needed. This is a 4 stars, but it was just what I needed, and it was The Secrets of Happiness. Mum will want to read this one actually. And it's about stepsisters Rachel and Becca, who couldn't be more different. And Rachel is happily married with 3 children, and Becca has a dead-end job and a disastrous love life. But when Rachel doesn't come home one night, Becca is called to help, and that is a real family, stepsisters, how appearances can be deceptive, family elements, a little bit of romance. This was a good 4 stars. It was a contemporary, but it was the cosy contemporary with the family element that I loved. Nothing scary, but really, 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 really good, and I really, really enjoyed that, so Mum is going to like that. Then to a book that looks slightly better because I dropped it on the floor this morning, so I'm going to put that right in the middle of this pile for Mum. And this is Bourneville by Jonathan Coe. It was the last book that I finished, and it was just absolutely brilliant book. It is the one that Charlie got in hardback and I found it recently, and I just literally wanted to read it because it's a family saga, and it starts off, and it basically does literally go over history from 1945 through to the current daytime, and you do have COVID elements at the end, and obviously COVID-19 elements, and if you find that triggering still, possibly don't read this at the moment. But it's about a family, and it literally follows the lead character Mary from when she's an 11-year-old child through to current day, when she's 75 at the end, and you have elements. Each sort of chapter sort of has different timelines, or you have a section where it's a different timeline. So you have from the wartime, you have when Princess Diana gets married to Prince Charles at the time, and you had her funeral, and then you've got the COVID, and you've got the World War II, and you have different members of her family following the history over, and it's really, really done really, really well. It's literally but it's also set in Bourneville, which is the home of Cadbury's chocolate, and that there is a chocolate element, the history of that, which I found really fascinating. So I really did enjoy that. So I'll put that there. That is one I think Mum would like. Then to a light library contemporary, and that is One Greek Sunrise by Megan Bagger. This was a contemporary that I needed. It was a short but sweet, fun romance. It had body positivity. It had a plus size character, but it is done really, really well. Now, obviously, I don't like the way people. I think people need to be very careful about how we say plus size. But this lead character, it starts off at the start of the book where she's beating herself up. She's been told right at the start of the book by her boyfriend at the time that she is fat and ordinary looking, which you should never call anyone. We all have different sizes, and something I'm very keen on is body positivity, because you should love your body no matter what size you are, and that is something I'm very keen on. And I love the plus size character and the way she's dealt with it, and the way she's strong and feisty, and she fights back, and yes, she's running away from certain problems, and she meets this gorgeous Hollywood film star, and she doesn't think he's going to look twice at her, but he does, and there's a romance, and there's family elements, and there's a bit of a mystery in it, and oh my goodness, I want to find this author's books they're not in the library. I want to find her books somewhere else, because I never go to the library and get 2 books out by the same author twice, but thoroughly loved that. Then to a book that I think I might keep because it's one of my most recent books, and I read this like a day or so around about the time that Alice's News got announced, and it's called A Happy Place by Emily Henry. But again, I'm not sure if I didn't rate it higher, because actually it was ripped on the back, so maybe I won't keep it. And this is Emily Henry's not recent book, the one before that, and it's now in a paperback. And I got it at the charity shop, and I have mixed feelings. I've got book lovers I've got to read, that's in my TBR jar pile. I've got Yumi and Vacation, which I loved. Beach Read I didn't love, but I liked. This I really enjoyed. It was a 4 stars, good book, but it does talk about a happy place, and it talks about us getting older, and it was just a really good book. And it has got different timelines, and it's all about the different times that it sort of stands history to current day, and they're in this happy place. And go to a happy place. I think desperately, only to realise I'm in my happy place. And he is here. He's the last person I expected to see, the last person I wanted to see. Beyonce. Good contemporary romance, Emily Henry, just what I needed. Not necessarily amazing. Mum's not gonna like it because it's a bit of a saucy bit, but it is good. But I think I'll share it to other people. Now to the 4.5 star books, and these are really good books. These are books that didn't quite get the 5 star, but they are good. The first one is Salt Houses by Hala and Leanne. I need to actually I've just realised I'm going to keep this to one side, because I think I'm going to send this to Gem of Books. I'm going to send this to her because I think she would like this. This is very similar to Homegoing by Yaganassi, and it's about a family and their history basically. And it sort of starts off on the eve of Alia's wedding. Her mother reads her future in the cup of her coffee dregs. Although she keeps her predictions to herself, they will soon come to pass in the wake of the Six-Day War in 1967. And it follows that family all through to current day, and it's got different members of the family, different chapters. It's got a good family, it's just the Euclid family, and it's all of that. It's got this like family timeline and everything, and it's got different characters. Very, very similar to Homegoing, but it's all done in near Kuwait City, so it's all sort of set. It's not sort of split over different times. But it is really good actually. I'm going to put that to one side. I did really enjoy it. Really, really good book. Historical fiction, family saga, over different timelines, different chapters, but they connect really well. I think that's what made the writing really good, is that they all did connect really well together. Then to Life Saving for Beginners by Josie Lloyd. I absolutely enjoyed this, but it did break me into 1,000 pieces. Friendship. In stormy waters, you just need your friends. Yeah, something with Alex passing is that how important your friends are, and how what is the waffle group that's -1? We've stuck together, and our friendship it's just been incredible. And Life Saving for Beginners is about friendships. And I'll tell you one thing, the people that think that online friends can't be as important as real as friends that live near you, it's bollocks. Complete and utter tosh. Because my online friends, be it the group, the waffle group, be it other people like Chatty and Kat, who have been two of my rocks throughout this time, friendships are what matters. Friendships are very important, and I love my bloody friends. Love each and every one of you. And in stormy waters, you do need your friends, and this is about different friends, and it's set in the coast. And I'm going to try not to cry. I was determined not to cry in this video. Maddie's Wolf's life has capsized. After a 20-year marriage suddenly implodes, she heads to Brighton to search for her estranged son, but he's nowhere to be found. And then she meets the Salty Sea Girls, who are a group of feisty sea swimmers, and they are all incredible. And you've got 72-year-old Helga, who's determined not to slow down. 30-something Tor is trying to figure out who she is. Bereaved Dominica is trying to find a reason to carry on. And busy mum Claire is learning to put herself first for a change. Different friends, different ages. Bloody love this. It was absolutely incredible. I'm going to let mum read it, and then it's going back to the charity shop because I want other people to read it. I'm still trying to nag my boss at Baz Books to let me read the Cancer Ladies Running Club, but I don't necessarily think I could read it at the moment. But yeah, it's a very good book. Then the second in the Hedgehog Hollow series, New Arrivals at Hedgehog Hollow. I cannot go into too much detail because it is the second in the series, but it's about Samantha who's in the first book. But I will say there's more hedgehogs in this book. There wasn't very many hedgehogs in the first book. There is a lot more in the second book, and it's even better than the second book. I really, really enjoyed it because the first book was 4 stars. This is 4.5. Bloody loved it. Then to Like a Charm by Kerry Barrett. I think I might actually keep this one. I've actually found a keepy that's 4.5 stars. Esme McLeod is a high-flying lawyer in London, but her life isn't as perfect as it seems. She is estranged from her family in a toxic relationship with a married man, but she's a part-time witch. I really enjoyed this. This was witchy romance, family, friends. It was really, really good fun. But actually, I'm not sure. Mum's not going to read it. No, I think I'm going to think that's going on a keeper pile. Witchy romance, just what I needed. Short but sweet, fun, great, loved it. Then to my first Patricia Wilson, which I got on the same. So I just realised I've read the 2 books I got on the car boot. I'm actually buying books and reading them straight away. What is happening to me, and what have you done with Emily? This is Historical Fiction, An Island Promise, but set in like Corfu and over in Greece, and it's different timelines. So but the past timeline is set during the Nazi occupation of Athens, and it starts off actually slightly before World War II, and it goes on to that. And then you've got in the current day timeline is in 2023, and Daphne, as Daphne's 100th birthday approaches, she knows time is running out to share her story. But Daphne tells Flora, her granddaughter in Liverpool, about a valuable piece of art from her youth. And that's the 2 timelines. It's very emotional, very good. I love the Greek setting. I love the wartime setting. It's a really, really good book. Mum will like that. Mum's going to kill me, actually. I better sort through her book, actually, pile, because I think I've changed my mind about some of the books that are on her pile for her to read. Then, this is the last 4.5 star book, but absolutely amazing book. And this is A Place Called Perfect. You guys know I got the second in the series recently, so I'm going to keep this. This is a keepy book, and this is Violet Never Wanted to Move to Perfect. Perfect is a place, and who wants to live in a town where everyone has to wear glasses to stop them going blind, and who wants to be neat and tidy and perfectly behaved all the time? And that is a bit, it's got a bit of, I wouldn't say it's disability rep, because the glasses are done in a different way. It's more fantasy. And Violet quickly discovers that something is weird about going about town, and it's about imagination and about strength of character and the importance of not being perfect. No one is perfect. And I think that for me is something I'm trying to explain to my kids, is that I don't expect you to be perfect. I expect you to try and have fun, and you're going to make mistakes, and that's life. It's important to live your life the best way you can. So absolutely loved it. Cannot wait to read The Trouble With Perfect. So the only one I need to get now is The Battle for Perfect. I need to get it. Then to the first, then I've only got 3 5-star books to show you. And yeah, I will tell you the favourite when I get to it, the one that's in the favourite. The first one is the second in the series, but I love the series. I love The Wolf Den. I've got The Temple of Fortuna to read, and I can't bloody wait to read it. That's not going to stay on my shelves unread for long. Jack from Spread Book Joy got me this last year for my birthday. It's the second in the series. It's historical fiction, but I've kind of kept it because it's Greek sort of historical fiction bit, so I've kept it with my fantasy books. And this is Amara has escaped her life as a slave in the Pompeii's most notorious brothel. She now has a house, fine clothes, servants, but all of these are gifts from her patron, as long as she keeps her place in his affections. So as she adjusts to a new life, Amara is still haunted by her past. This is very, very emotional, very hard-hitting, but very, very good. I love Elodie Harper's writing. It was a book that knocked me off the socks. It's the second in the series. The fact that I'm desperate for the third just tells you something. I absolutely loved this. I think this was just as good as The Wolf Den, but I'm desperate for the Temple of Fortuna. If you like sort of Greek, that is more, I would say it's Greek, but it's sort of set in Pompeii. It really does mix, because you hear about different people in the past, like Greek, Romans, and it's got a bit of some Roman characters in it. So it's very gripping, and it's very ancient. It's the ancient world, and I just loved it, absolutely loved it. But I don't rate books that are in the series as favourite sneaky peek. Then the next one is, yes, we've actually happened. I've been really hit and miss with the Twisted Tales. Reflections one I'm going to keep. It is a Mulan retelling. I've not actually seen the cartoon of Mulan. I need to bloody see this. But this is a the only thing I'll say with this is that it literally has destroyed me, because it's set in the underworld and about Captain Shang, who is mortally wounded in battle, and Mulan goes down to the underworld, in order to save him from certain death. I will say that I was reading this again around about the time of Alice passing away, and oh my god, my cat's going crazy. But that part of it has destroyed me into a million pieces, because reading it and thinking about going into the underworld and talking about whether you go to heaven or hell, the death is a big part of this book, and if you can talk to people that have died and things like that, and that has broken me, obviously for obvious reasons. But there is a bit of romance in this, and there's a bit of looking back and changing yourself, and oh, I just loved it. It was really, really good. It was like, it was as good as the Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I love Beauty and the Beast, so now I'm desperate to read Mulan. This is going on my favourites for a year. This is a keepy book. I bloody loved it. And then last but not least, this is, I think, the third and possibly the last in the series. This is Dawnlands by Philippa Gregory. I don't think she's brought out more copies of this book. I don't think she's brought out more in the series. I know she's got different books coming out. I need to bloody find out. But this is the third in the series that started off as the Familiars, I think. No, not the Familiars. Blooming heck. What the book? I know the book. It wasn't Wildacre. Where the blooming heck? Where can I not find it? Tidelands was the first in the series. Tidelands was one of my favourite books of the year. Dark Tides I liked, but I didn't love. I think for me, Dawnlands is as good as Tidelands, and I really enjoyed it. But I need to go back because I really, really enjoyed it. This is my beautiful copy that Charlie from Charles Heathcote got me. That it's sort of set. I'm trying to think when it's set. A king in trouble, a country divided, and a woman determined. So it's set at student time, in the student era, Stuart era, and it's it's got different members of the family from the first book, and this is where Queen Mary is like involved in it quite a lot, and we've got Eleanor from the first book, and we've got Ned, and we've got characters that we met in the first book, but it's set partly in Monmouth, partly in there, and partly at Farmouse, which was like there in the past. This copy is stunning, so I am obviously keeping this book. It was bloody brilliant, absolutely loved it. Just because it's not a favourite, it doesn't mean that it's not one that I love. So, you all know, yes, Reflection was my favourite book for the month, and my other favourite book for the month that I read in the first half was very obviously one, and that was Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. So, my two favourites for the month have both been fantasy. What is happening to me? What are you guys fantasy lovers doing to me? I loved fantasy this month, and it was just the escape that I needed. God knows how July is going to be. I'm going to go and crack on. I'm filming this actually on the 1st of July, and it's gone 11 o'clock, and I need to get on and read because I've got a lot of books to read this month. And yeah, a lot ahead of me. But I'm thinking, I always talk about them first, but I've got some real gold. I've got some real like gold. All of my books have got gold in them. So if you got to the end of this video, can you give me like a gold heart or something gold in it, in the emojis? You've got like a gold sword. I can't remember what the emojis we've got. Anything golden in the emoji. Put a golden emoji in the comments if you got to the end of the video. And let me know what books have been your favourites for the month. What have been your highlights on a tough month. Books have literally saved me from going insane. So thank you all. Thank you all for, by the way, for your comments. Those of you that commented on any of the posts to do with Alice. Those of you who commented on my description, my comment at the end of my gratitude journal, and those of you that are sending kind comments to myself, to Alice's friends and family. Thank you all. It is a hard time right now, so please, I'm still filming. I'm going to do my best to keep going because for me, filming is what's helping me. And reading is what's helping me, but I know that the other girls in the group are having a bit of a break, and I know that their FOMO book club's having a bit of a break because obviously Alice was one of the hosts for that. So please bear with me and the girls as we are struggling to get through this time. Bear with us all at the moment. If any kind wishes are appreciated. I know Alice's mum's really appreciated everyone putting kind comments out there, so thank you all for that. We really are grateful. We loved Alice, and obviously you would have seen my video, but she was amazing. I'm going to go forward in August, and I've got some books planned to read in honour of her. Let's keep her spirit alive on here and read books that she's recommended and keep her alive through that. Thank you all. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, not subscribed, ring on my ding-a-ling. I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.